Let's go back and turn off this and take a look. So already we see that, let's go down below here. On and off. Because now it's not darkened and pulled, but it looks, they're just amazingly disappeared, right? Now the low layer, let's do the low layer. And I can say that right now when it comes to the frequency separation technique, I'm not a super expert on this section right here. And part of it is because when it comes to color, I have some issues, I have a hard time. But let me show you what that does. You go to your stamp tool and you set your blending mode to lighten. You say current layer. And what this does is this takes and transfers the color of the skin from one part to another with a real smooth blend. So for example, we have a little bit of a wobble. Remember our little problem along the cheeks here? So what I can do, see now let's go back here. Go back, turn my levels. See this section right here that's got some problems? So now what I do is I take and use the Alt option again. I go click and I can paint. I'm on the right button here. I'm on stamp. Okay, we can change our percentage up here. So let's get a little more percentage. But basically you transfer the color from one part to another. Does that make sense? So it takes out little wobbles. We're going to do some dodge and burn here in a minute. But this gives me a little bit of an option to kind of just clean up areas here. And there's a limit, obviously, to how far you can go. But let's go up to the top here. So like here's a little section right here. So we're going to go over here and go click and then just paint in a little bit of that color to that area. So you're not really dodging and burning. You're actually transferring color of the skin without doing the mush effect or whatever. Like right in here, I can clean that up. Let's try right here. So we're going to pick that up. We're going to fill in right along here just a little bit. And my percentages are pretty low, 35% opacity and about 37% flow. If I want to increase that effect, I make the percentages higher. But I don't want to go too far on that. So let's just do this and clean it. And my ability to sort of really tell you what this does is probably not as good as someone's been doing this a little longer than me. I might fill in underneath the eyes a little bit here. And right up along here, look at this, right in here. Just fill that in. And now we go back and turn those off. And she's already looking a lot better, right? Okay, so let's go to what I think is one of the most powerful things in retouching and some of the most underused techniques is dodge and burn. And there's all sorts of techniques. You can make two different layers. You can make a curve layer that does the shadows and the curve layer does the highlights. And that's fine. And I've tried those. But for me, the most simple way to do dodge and burn is to take that blank layer that I did, filled it with gray, go over to dodge and burn, take my midtones to 3%. So I'm on midtones, 3%. Let's go in here and watch what happens. I literally can transform this image by dodging and burning. So let's go. We're on dodge. So I come along here and I start just slowly taking out the wobbles. Now, if I hold down the X key, the Option key, I can switch to burn without having to go over to burn. Remember we did that yesterday? So I'm going to burn a little spot there, and I'm going to dodge here, dodge in here, dodge, burn a little bit there, and I just start quickly taking out the wobbles in the skin.